Learn to Fight. I'm your host, Manny, and we're back with another one. Today I was just chilling, scrolling on YouTube, and I ran into this video of this chick crying, talking about she deals with lifelong depression, crying, and I went through her channel and there's just multiple videos like this. I hop on Instagram and I see some guy painted nails crying, talking about men opening up about their feelings and whatnot. And it made me wonder what's going on. People are soft nowadays. I know people in Africa, in different parts of the world that are super poor, who don't have anything, who deal with things way, way worse than people here in America, who are completely happy. So we're gonna get into a talk about depression today. And I got the matcha on deck, get my mind right. Let's get into it. This is something that really, holds dear to me because depression is something I've studied my whole life because, I've had 10 friends who unalived themselves. So it's always been something that I've been very interested in. I've had bouts with depression, but I believe that the cure is very simple. You don't need to be on a bunch of drugs. You don't need to be on it's not a lifelong thing. There's a kid I trained who, when he came to me, he was like 16 years old. And his parents were like, he was a wealthy kid. His parents were like, this kid's super depressed. He's going to off himself. We don't know what to do. We tried everything. So we want to get him to learn how to fight. When this kid came to me, he was overweight. He was overeating because he wanted to bulk up. He was overeating, eating probably like 4,000 calories a day. He was chunky, didn't look good, zero confidence. And that's why he was so depressed. Fast forward, I get him on a routine. We're training. I push him hard, teach him how to fight. A year later, he has a girlfriend. He's in shape. He's happy. He has friends. And the kid who was going to off himself was never to be seen again. He was a completely different man, Now he was a man. Before he was a boy, now he kind of turned into a man, So I'll be honest, I'll just say straight up, I know how to cure depression, and we're going to get into it in this video. Depression's on the rise. Obesity's on the rise. Soft men are on the rise. Weird women with crazy, backwards thoughts are on the rise. Crime is on the rise. People are tripping over here. People are tripping, and it's very, very weird to see. But as far as depression goes, the first friend that I had off themselves was in high school. And, it was over just some stupid stuff as well. It was over a girl. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, it's over a girl, So my friend offed himself over a girl. Years later, I was looking back like, man, none of that would have mattered if you would have just waited 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You wouldn't even remember the girl. You know what I'm saying? You're offering yourself at 16, 15 years old. You still have a long, long, long way to go in life. And a lot of things can change in a year. A lot of things can change in a month. You know what I'm saying? So I want to show you guys this chart. Check this. This is a chart of depression since 2015 till current day. This is from U.S. depression rates. This is from Gallup, Gallup.com. 2015, you could see the rate going up. It was at 10%. To where current day is at 29% for lifetime depression, quote unquote, and current depression. Look, lifetime depression isn't a thing. These people are making stuff up. No one's depressed for life. You can have traumatic brain injuries. You can have a lot of different things to mess up your rhythms, but lifelong depression isn't a thing, okay? It's not. People are depressed because 9 times out of 10, because they're overeating, they have no goals, they have no vision, and they're just depressed and they just don't know what to do with their life. In this life where we all don't know why we're here, you have to give yourself meaning. I give myself meaning through learning how to fight, martial arts, fighting, art, stuff like that. That's how I give myself meaning. We're meant to struggle. We're built to struggle. When I was training the kid, when he first came to me and his parents were saying he's depressed, all this stuff, I already knew what to do, you know. I already knew how to cure it. When I was a kid, I was depressed as well, you know. So that's how I got into martial arts. I was tired of feeling like shit, so I got into martial arts, learned how to fight. Every day I had a mission. Every day I had a mission, had something to do, run a few miles, whatever, learn a new technique. And that's really what it is. Our bodies are not meant. If you take a lion out of the jungle, you put it in a cage, right? That lion is supposed to be hunting, killing, so it has crazy amounts of energy cooped up. Now you take that lion and you put it in a cage and you feed it food, you give it food. It never gets the adrenaline of killing an animal. It never gets the reward from going out and hunting. It never gets the reward from struggling, failing, hunting, winning, killing, mating, becoming a successful animal. You put it in that cage and it just lives a super docile life. Of course it's going to be depressed. And that's what we're doing to people. That's why as life becomes easier and easier and easier, more people are depressed. Right now is the best time to live. You don't even really have to do much. We have AI, we have food is easily accessible. We have the internet. Anything you want to learn, you can learn right now. And that's why for a lot of people, they're depressed because life is just too easy. And these depression rates are usually in places that people are pretty wealthy, you know? So I had another friend who offed himself, who I dedicated my first professional fight to. He went to the military. He had to work very hard to get into the military branch that he was in. He's there for maybe 3 years, 3 or 4 years. He got out. When he got back home, he was just kind of chilling. He wanted to become a fighter. He was training here and there, but not really. And, you know, life hits in different ways. He was trying to get with some girl that fell through and he offed himself, you know. Whenever he didn't have that stress and the goal and the vision and the mission of becoming a soldier, and he was just back at home chilling, and time's going by super slow, that's when the thoughts creep in, you know, and that's when you feel stuck, you know, because you don't have anything to do. You don't have a dream, you don't have a vision, there's no purpose for your life. You're just kind of a ship that's riding in the ocean with no map, you know. So the first thing to get rid of depression is regulating what you eat. If you can't control what you eat, how are you going to be able to control your thoughts? So also a lot of the food is built to make us super unhealthy and make us super unhappy, you know, and our reward system is built off of us going out, hunting, killing, and then going home, cleaning the food, preparing the food, eating the food, and then we have to go hunt again, you know. So we're not supposed to be eating 4 or 5 times a day. We're just not. That's the first issue. So oftentimes when I see people who are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and they're on their phone crying, I'm so depressed. That's what I saw earlier. The chick was on there crying with her camera, talking about she's depressed. You know what I'm saying? Talking about she has lifetime depression. You're 18 years old. How are you talking about lifetime depression? Like, get a life, you know? And I don't mean to be insensitive, but it's just this rhetoric is it pisses me off because there is no lifetime depression. Set goals, eat less, get in shape. You don't see people who are in really good shape, have great friend groups, have a wife, kids, stuff like this. They might have moments of sadness. They might have moments of depression, which is just normal. That's life. We don't really see them offing themselves. And if they do, there's always outliers. But when it comes to saying that you have lifetime depression and you're depressed, I don't like that because it's like you're just giving up. You're just laying down. You're just being a weak person to a degree, you know? And I've seen it straight up. I've seen people, close family members who were very, 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 very depressed, you know, and they were going through it. And I know when you're going through it, it's hard to adjust and it's hard to set the goals. It can be hard to get out of bed. But still, there needs to be accountability. You can't just lay down and be a victim, you know? Hit the like button. You can't just lay down and be a victim. So again, when we see this chart since 2016, since 2015, almost 10 years, the rate of depression has gone up. Now, what has happened since 2015? COVID, we see a spike. After 2020, we see a big spike in depression. Men's testosterone levels have been going lower and lower and lower by the year. And I have charts on that as well. We have weaker men. We have shittier food. We have more money in the economy than ever. And people are getting more depressed. People are feeling more hopeless. People are feeling that there's no meaning to life. All this stuff has been figured out for us in the past. So in order to cure depression, in order to never feel depression in life, you're going to have moments of sadness. You're going to have moments of despair. You're going to have these moments, but that's what life's about, moments. It's not a clinical thing. First, regardless of if you're religious or not, joining a community, a church, you know, the reason people went to church back in the day was for the human connection and just having people that care about you and people you can talk to, feeling like you're part of a group. Humans are we're village people. We're like, we have groups, you know, we're tribe type of people, you know. So for myself, when I was younger, when I was sad, depressed, once I started doing martial arts, joined that community, and now I'm in there with people working hard every day, learning a skill, meeting people, making friends. That's the first step. So in the past, it was joining a church, joining a club, you know, these types of things. That's why these things are powerful. As we see, people aren't really going to church no more. People are not believing in God anymore. These types of things, and now you see depression on the rise. People feel hopeless. You see testosterone lowering. All these things that are happening in the world, you know. So that's the first step, is joining a community of some sort, preferably a healthy community like a church, like a gym, like a martial arts academy, you know, learning a skill every single day, learning a skill or trying to get better at a skill. Whenever you're progressing in life, it's hard. You can't really be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how the human mind is like built. We're built on a reward system. Going out walking running, going out walking, running. This type of stuff is going to reward the animalistic side of being a human, and the caveman side that we would go out and hunt. You know, we used to go out and walk probably miles and miles and miles, 10 miles minimum a day, to just get some berries, get some food, whatever, kill some things. And now you're sitting down in your cubicle all day. You're never expressing that testosterone. You're never going for the hunt. You're never really expressing that side of yourself. So of course you're going to be depressed. It's the same as the lion I told you about in the past. All the friends that had who off themselves, a lot of times it was because of women, and it was because they're all super young and they just didn't know how to deal with their lives. They just didn't know how to deal with life in general. Life isn't supposed to be super easy. That's where the joy comes in. It's like a video game. If you have a video game that's super easy, then nobody's going to play it. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to play some easy ass video game. You want a video game that's hard. You want something that challenges you. And when you finally hit that next level, you're going to feel good. Same thing with life. So while you're if you're depressed and you're feeling like you're not progressing, you're just doing something wrong. There's something you can do to change it. Tomacha's fire. Something you could do to change it. Whether that's every single day, setting a small goal, like walking, whatever. You see it with a lot of fighters, right? When in order to become a fighter, you have to train for years and years and years, and you have to get your ass beat a lot. You got to get your ass beat regularly. You have to beat people up regularly. But while you're in the gym and you're fighting people, it takes all of your energy, all your time, all your focus. It takes everything out of you. So by the time you go home, you can lay down at night on bed and just really, really sleep well because you worked hard that day in order to become a fighter. And when you have an actual fight, it takes so much of you. It takes absolutely everything of you. The fear you feel, the excitement you feel, the anticipation, all the simulation that's going on leading up to this fight, the suffering you're going through, cutting weight. You have no time to be depressed. You have no time to be depressed because it's too hard. Whenever fighters finally retire and they don't have anything to fill that void, you see it a lot of times. Guys balloon up, they get super fat, and then they get depressed. You know, you see it damn near. That's like the regular story of a fighter. Look up Jake LaMotta, Raging Bull. Robert De Niro did a whole movie on him. Raging Bull, once he was not a fighter anymore, and he was just getting fat, drinking, he was depressed. You know, he was depressed. He had that whole speech that he could have been a contender, he could have been somebody, this and that. He was somebody, right? So again, from my own personal experience, when you're hustling, when you're working hard, you have so many things on your plate and you have to do the next thing, even while you're suffering and things are hard, it's damn near impossible to be depressed because you're only depressed whenever you're sitting down dwelling in the situation. You're only depressed when you're sitting down dwelling in, oh, you and your girl broke up, or oh, you're not where you want to be right now, or oh, you know, whatever the case is, you don't have enough money. That's the time when you're going to be depressed. When you're out there hustling, suffering, working, grinding, there's no time to be depressed. So I believe that life is just far too easy for the majority of people nowadays. It's just far too easy. And, you know, testosterone being lower is also, everybody's just getting weaker. We're getting weaker. Look at this chart right here. This is a chart on on testosterone. This was on Twitter. All right. So take a look. When your testosterone levels are optimal, you have a sharper mind. You're happy, confident, increased muscle mass, healthy heart, strong erection and healthy libido, strong bones, plenty of energy. When your testosterone levels are off and you're constant fatigue, depressed, increased risk of Alzheimer's, increased fat tissue, increased risk of ED, low libido, increased risk of osteoporosis, weak bones. And it didn't say when you have low testosterone, you're more likely to just accept whatever is given to you. When you have high testosterone, you're not just going to accept whatever is given to you. You know, you're going to go out and try to get more. You're going to go out and try to push it. People are getting weaker, which is making people more depressed. People are overeating, which is making people depressed and unhealthy. People don't know how to fight, so they feel insecure. They walk around through life feeling weak, insecure, fat, ugly, unconfident. That's the majority of people's experience. So whenever you learn how to fight and you learn martial arts, all these things kind of get erased. And that's the crazy thing. So that's something I truly believe in, and that's something I've seen happen time and time and time again. Like, for example, with the kid that I was training. So the weaker people become and the easier life becomes, the more problems we're going to have in society. So now look at this as well. This is another chart of obesity in America currently. As you can see, since 1960, you see the obesity rates. Severe obesity was like barely 1%. We go fast forward to 2018, it's at 5%. Regular obesity is at 40%. 40%. So 40% of Americans are obese as of 2018. That number is even higher now. You can't be happy. No, you can be happy if you're obese, for sure. You don't need to be fit to be not depressed. But if you're unhealthy, you can barely walk, you're overeating, all these things, how you're going to be, your testosterone's lower, of course you're depressed. And it's funny because, like I was saying earlier, when I hopped on Instagram and I hopped on TikTok and I hopped on YouTube, and all these videos of people on their phone, right here on their phone, crying, oh, I'm so depressed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. All of them were out of shape. The dudes had painted nails, long hair, probably never went to the gym in their life, probably never got punched in their face in their life. So there's like a trend. There's clearly a trend, and there's clearly like an outline. I think when you go out and you really test yourself and you feel fear, that's what we're supposed to be feeling in life. You're supposed to, if we were a caveman, I always go bring it back to when we were cavemen, because that's just the most simple way to break it down. It just makes the most sense to me. If we were a caveman, right, and you had to go up against a woolly mammoth and kill it, you're gonna be scared. You're gonna be scared shitless. But it doesn't matter. You have to kill the woolly mammoth, or it's gonna kill you. You have to kill the stone-faced bear. It's gonna kill you. Imagine you're super scared. You have to kill this animal, right? But you manage to do it. You and your group of cavemen kill it. You guys are gonna feel extreme level